Okay, so an amount has increased from 1600 or 1600 and it's gone up to 2200, and it does ask for the percentage increase. So there are a couple of ways you can do this question. So if you think about the original 1600, so you might have heard original price times something equals new price. So if you imagine that was £1,600 gone up to £2,200, so 1600 times something takes you to 2,200. Now, inverse operation, we'd have to do 2,200 divided by 1,600 to answer that question. Now, looks horrible fraction, but the first thing we can do is divide by 100, take that down to 22 over 16, and then we can half it, and that'll get us down to 11 over 8. Now, what do we know about 11 over 8? If we changed it to a mixed number, that is the same as 1 whole 1 and then 3 eighths. 1 whole 1 and 3 eighths. So this tells us it's been increased, it's been times by 1 point something. The 3 eighths part is the increase there. So if we knew what 3 eighths is as a decimal, that will help us to work out what the percentage increase is. So if we want to know what 3 eighths as a percentage is, we need to get it to out of 100. So 3 eighths, if you know what you times 8 by to get to 100, that'll be fantastic. And it is going to be 12.5. If you think about it, if you want to get from 4 to 100, that'll be times 25. So if it's 8, it's going to be half as much, so it'll be times by 12.5. So if you do the same to the top as you do to the bottom, 3 lots of 12.5. So 3 lots of 12 is 36, and 3 lots of 0.5 is 1.5, and that's going to give us 37.5. So if the decimal was 37.5, it's showing it's a 37.5% increase. So that would be your increase answer. Now, not everyone will be using that method, so just to run through a potentially different method, depending on who your teacher is and what their preference is. So another option could be to think about how much it's actually gone up as a fraction. So from 1,600 to 2,200. So how much has it actually physically gone up? Let's imagine if it was money, it's gone up 400 would take us to 2,000, so that's going to be, it's gone up 600. So we can see that's the difference between those numbers. So as a fraction, it's gone up 600 out of the original, which was 1,600. It's going to be similar techniques now, so we need to change this to see how much it's increased. So again, divide by 100, that's going to get us 6 out of 16, if we do the same to both top and bottom, and then half that is going to get us 3 eighths. So we can still see that it's increased by 3 eighths, and then do the same method to change that into a percentage. Now, alternatively, if you didn't like the last method for changing 3 eighths, you could think about what you do know about an eighth. So visually, here's a quarter, and we should know that 25% is a quarter, and if we half a quarter, 25% equals a quarter. Half of a quarter is an eighth, so an eighth is half of 25%, which is 12.5. And we didn't want 1/8, we wanted 3, and therefore 3 lots of that is going to be 3 eighths, and it's still going to give us the same answer as 37.5%.